Alright everybody, what's going on? It's Thundershot. Welcome to another Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 topic discussion video. Today I'm going to be tackling a topic that I feel like I didn't want to make a video on initially because I feel like a lot of people have already covered this after I started the what do you want to see from Xenoverse 2. I'm sure this was a lot of ones that a couple of people hit on their first go-arounds. I'm also sure that I made a video on this one in the past. I bet pretty much a similar video in a different style. I'm pretty sure when Xenoverse was out, I made a video talking about how much I absolutely despise Dragon Ball Xenoverse's RNG. I know I talked about it probably in the playthrough a lot. I talked about it a lot on Twitch streams. As you guys know, I got the Platinum Trophy in Dragon Ball Xenoverse, and in order to do that, you have to get every move in the game. And a lot of my pains and struggles and repeating parallel quests over and over and over again came from Dragon Ball Xenoverse's awful RNG. In case you guys don't know what RNG is, it stands for Random Number Generator, but what it boils down to in a video game sense is it's things that randomly happen that are out of your control in a video game. I don't mean things that randomly happen like a plot twist in the storyline. I mean things that happen like you finish a mission, and when you finish a mission, sometimes you get a move. Sometimes the game will drop the move that you were looking for. Sometimes you don't get a move. Sometimes you don't get clothes. Sometimes you don't get accessories. Sometimes you do get those things. The ones that were random, that's RNG. Whether or not an extra enemy showed up at the end of the mission, and whether or not if you defeated him, if he dropped a Dragon Ball for you to get. That was RNG. It was RNG if the enemy was going to show up or not, and then it was RNG if that enemy was going to drop a Dragon Ball after you beat them or not. That sort of thing that happened in Dragon Ball Xenoverse. When, where, and what mentor would spawn in Taki Taki City. Where the mentor would spawn was random. Which mentor would spawn would random. And at what times the mentors would spawn when you entered the lobby was random. There was nothing you can do to control that. If you only have one mentor left you need to get, you have to go into a mission, do a mission, or quit out of it, run all the way around Taki Taki City once. If he's not there, do it again. Eventually he might show up. That's RNG. That's what RNG is. So my question today is, what should they do about RNG in Xenoverse 2? Now, the initial option I feel like a lot of people are going to want to go with, and that's totally fine, is to remove RNG entirely, because RNG was a big burden for people like me who wanted to get every move in the game for Dragon Ball Xenoverse. In fact, for a lot of people who only wanted one specific move, RNG was a huge pain in the ass at times. I know myself, it took me like 2 hours to get Blue Hurricane. It took me a lot more to get a couple other moves that I grinded, especially those long missions that you have to do over and over again. It gave us a really hard time. RNG did. So I can see a lot of people being like, just remove it. Give me a surefire way to get Dragon Balls. Let me pick what mentor I want whenever I want to pick them. And give me all the moves that I want as soon as I can get them. You know what I mean? I'm sure that's what a lot of people are going to say. I myself have a different style on it. I know I've talked so much shit on RNG. I know I hated RNG, especially when Xenoverse was out. Now, before I get to the other things, I want to start by talking about the moveset. I want to talk about moves and how we could go about obtaining them. There's a couple different ways to do this, but like I said before, I don't mind RNG, and by I don't mind RNG, I guess what I really don't mind is having to do a mission 3 or 4 times to get the moves I want. So, as an alternative to Xenoverse's awful RNG, I was thinking of maybe some kind of scaling odds for you to get the moves you want with the grades you get. So for example, if you get a D grade, you have a 20% chance to get a move. I mean, you get a C grade, you have a 30%, a B grade, you have a 40%, all the way up to a Z grade where you would have anywhere from 85 to 100% chance. It wouldn't bother me at all if you get a Z grade and you have a 100% chance to get a move from that mission. That way, even if you know the mission, even if you're really good at the mission, you still need to do the parallel quest 3 or 4 times in a row, but only 3 or 4, not 10, not 20. I mean, unless you're bad at it and you're getting shitty grades, you don't need to do the mission 20 times in a row to get a move that you want. If you're getting Z grades or if you're getting S grades where your odds would still be really high, you only need to do a mission 4, 5, 6 times at most if it has 3 moves. And between your odds or between Z grades, the idea in my head to re-explain it would be an S grade would give you like a 60 to 80% chance to get the move, somewhere in there, you know what I mean? But a Z grade would be guaranteed you get the move. That way, if the mission has 3 moves and you're really good at it, you just play the parallel quest 3 times. After 3 times, you have all 3 moves. No need to worry about it. That's it. You're done. And in that way, they could still keep it RNG based unless you get a Z grade, unless you're really amazing at that mission. When they don't have to take out RNG entirely. If they do want to take out RNG entirely, as far as moves go, that honestly wouldn't bother me either. But I still think they should do it in a way where you at least have to be good at the parallel quest. You at least have to be really good at the mission that you're doing to get the moves. Because honestly, redoing the parallel quest was a big part of Xenoverse's replayability. I didn't like how much we had to redo it. I didn't like the fact that I was being forced, if I wanted to get moves, to redo it that many times, but it in no means bothers me. In fact, I enjoy the fact that we have to go back and replay a mission 3 or 4 times and or be good at it. So to get to the point I was making, if they do want to take RNG out of it, I think maybe if the mission has 3 moves for you to unlock, you should be able to get 1 move at the A grade. If you get an A, you unlock 1 move from that mission. But only 1 specific move, you know what I mean? You can't get an A 3 times in a row and get all 3 moves. It wouldn't work like that. You get an A, you unlock 1 specific move. You get an S rank, you unlock 2 specific moves. And then if you get a Z rank, you get all 3. So that way, unless you got the Z rank, there would always be 1 move you could never get from that parallel quest. I actually kind of like that idea because that idea forces you to... it forces you to be good at the mission. And I know there's going to be those pain-in-the-ass missions that you have to fight your way through, but that... almost never bothered me to beat a tough parallel quest. That's just something hard to overcome, and that all depends on how fun the game is. You know what I mean? Like, as long as what you're fighting is fun to play against or is difficult, not necessarily cheap, that's one thing. Now, a lot of people will argue that Xenoverse did have a lot of cheapness in the way that they did their stuff. For example, super armor on enemies seemed like a cheap way to up the difficulty. Making your allies really stupid when it comes to fighting was another cheap way to up the difficulty. Things like that. And I'm not going to disagree with them on that. That's their opinion. I have mine. We differ. That's not what today's video is about. But I like the idea of, as long as the missions are hard and not cheap, it's totally fine with me if I have to get a Z grade in order to get every move in that parallel quest. That doesn't bother me at all. But let me know what you guys think about the whole move thing. Are you completely on board? Just ditch the RNG. If I only do a parallel quest 1 time to get all the moves, that's totally fine with me. I never go back to that parallel quest again unless I think it's fun or unless it gives me a lot of good experience, something like that. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section down below. Now, the next thing coming up is Dragon Balls, and Dragon Balls are kind of iffy to talk about because for all we know, they could completely redo the Dragon Ball system. Dragon Balls might be something you find in the story mode, or Dragon Balls might be something that you pick up elsewhere. It might not be dumped into the parallel quest, so it's hard for me to talk about because I really don't know. If they were going to dump it into the parallel quest like last time, that's really iffy because I don't want to be able to get Dragon Balls super easily. I don't think beating a simple mission should allow me to get a Dragon Ball every time, you know what I mean? For example, you get a Dragon Ball from Parallel Quest 2, you know what I mean? And if they made it to where that wasn't RNG, that means that you would get a Dragon Ball from that mission every single time, and that's not okay. Then on the other hand, if they gave it to a really long mission, that still doesn't change a whole lot. I mean, you know, if I have to do a 20-minute mission to get Dragon Balls, but it's a guarantee, that just means that I have to do, a 20-minute Dragon Ball mission 7 times in a row before I get a Dragon Ball, and even then, you're going to want to summon the Dragon more than once, you know what I mean? So Dragon Balls are iffy for me. Because I don't want them to be too easy. I even think if they were on a 20-minute long hard mission, that would still be too easy, because once you get that mission figured out, then it's just taking up 20 minutes of your time every hit. But I don't want it to be like it was in Xenoverse, because I don't want to have to redo that crap over and over again, you know what I mean? So we definitely need to find another system for getting Dragon Balls, in my opinion. Now, in my opinion, there's a couple ways we can go about this, but keep in mind all of my suggestions are iffy because I honestly had a tough time coming up with a good way to collect Dragon Balls in this game without it being RNG-based and without it being too reliant is almost the word I'm looking for, but it's rough trying to come up with some of that things. Maybe there should be like an event period. You think maybe every couple days or so, there should be an event period that randomly spawns, and for an hour a day on the Xenoverse servers, there could be some kind of special event, or if you do a certain parallel quest, you would be able to get a Dragon Ball. Make it a time thing, you know what I mean? Make it once every couple days, probably not once a week, because then nobody would be able to summon Shenron, but once every couple days, or maybe once a day for 30 minutes, there would be a time period that you could be able to go and do a certain quest, or talk to somebody in town, and if you do a mission for them, they go ahead and then they give you a Dragon Ball or something like that, you know what I mean? Come back and talk to them later. They give you Dragon Ball after so long you have 7. Another idea I had was to tie it in, and this is a video topic that I might make on its own at a different point in time, but tie it into story mode. Every time you complete the entire Xenoverse story mode, or Xenoverse 2 story mode, I guess, since that's what we're talking about. Every time you complete the entire Xenoverse 2 story mode, you get another set of Dragon Balls. You get another set of all 7, and then you make a new character if you want to, or I get replaying it with your old one wasn't really a thing on Xenoverse. I'll explain my video topic to you guys in a second, but after you complete the story mode, you have a set of Dragon Balls you can wish for something. Then you make a new character. My first character was a Saiyan. My second character is a Namek. Then I play through the story mode again with a new character. And then I get another set of Dragon Balls. And my third player is going to be an Arcosian. And my fourth player might be an Android if they include that in the next one. You know what I mean? And then after so long, you'd only have to do like, 10 times or so, and then you have everything wished for. I feel like it was something similar to that in Xenoverse. But my other video topic, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below, because I don't know if it's worth its own video topic or not. But if it's something you guys want to see, I will talk about it, because I do have a couple thoughts on the matter. Should your characters have to go through story mode? Every time you make a new character, should it have to go through the story mode once before they give you free reign on everything? And that's the basic idea, and I have a lot more to back it, but I don't have time to explain that in this video, because like I said, it would be its own topic. But let me know what you guys think about that. But no, those are my ideas for collecting Dragon Balls. And another way to go about it, I guess, would be to contradict myself in making it RNG. It wouldn't eliminate RNG, but I really hate that I think. What am I trying to say? I think if you Z rank it, you could add it to that again. You could put it on that. If you Z rank it, then RNG comes into play. If you Z rank a mission, maybe don't. I don't like battling the time patrollers. I think it's cool to battle other people's time patrollers. I mean, I guess I like that idea, but I don't like the idea of having to battle time patrollers in order to get a Dragon Ball. So maybe just if I Z rank it, I have a 25% chance to get a Dragon Ball. But you have to Z rank it. Don't make me fight a time patroller and go through that extra stuff. Don't make me have to last hit the time patroller, or my odds of getting a Dragon Ball are slimmed down. All those weird things that you had to do. You know what I mean? Maybe just, but I don't know. Those are my ideas for RNG. And then as far as spawning mentors goes, I think every mentor should just have a place that they stand. Maybe there's parts of Taki Taki City that you have to unlock slowly, or maybe a mentor won't show up till after you complete another one. For example, after you complete Captain Ginyu, then Frieza starts standing in his spot. Or maybe mentors don't show up till after you beat a certain part in the story, assuming that you go through the regular DBZ storyline again, which I'm almost sure we won't be. You have to get through the Captain Ginyu saga, then Ginyu will mentor you. You have to get through the Frieza saga, then Frieza shows up to mentor you. You get through the Beerus saga, then Beerus or Whis or whoever shows up to mentor you. You know what I mean? After you get to certain points in the game, they show up, but they should just have set places that they stand in Taki Taki City. You know what I mean? That whole going back, that you can completely eliminate RNG for that. That's totally fine with me. That would not bother me in the slightest. I completed every mentor in the game so far except Elder Kai and then Jaco, and I don't want to. I'm on Elder Kai now, but I never made it to level 92, so I never got to complete him. And then I didn't want to move to Jaco until I completed Elder Kai. But I know what I'm talking about with the mentor thing. That stuff bothered me to hell and back. Other than that, let me know what you guys think of the RNG in the comment section down below. Do you say get rid of it all? Do you say you like my ideas? Do you have ideas of your own to have maybe a little bit of RNG, but not enough to break the game like Xenoverse did? Not break the game, but make the game a lot more unbearable like Xenoverse did. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you have any other ideas you want to talk about for me on Xenoverse 2, feel free to let me know. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new on here for more Dragon Ball Z content and video games and movies and shows and stuff and things. That's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you guys for coming out. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm Thundershot. I'm out. Peace. Late. See ya.